Hello, it's Dano here from Live and Kicking, and we're aiming to bring you some more great information all about getting online and making the most of your skills and knowledge and getting you a following, really, if you want a following, that is. But, you know, a lot of businesses, a lot of people, whatever you've got in terms of ideas, it really is a fabulous opportunity. No bigger opportunity than we've got right now while everybody's wondering what's going on in the world. So we call it the Live and Kicking series. And in fact, I like to say, let's kick ass, meaning take action, strategy, and you will get success. So let's kick ass and you will find some success online. Essentially, this is for newbies, new people who are aiming to, learn what's going on, what sort of strategies they can use, and what sort of value they can get out of those different strategies, because there are so many that we can learn about online, and it's so easy to go down rabbit holes and get involved in something and even spend money when it's not really the right sort of technique for you. So if you could get an overview of that right from the word go, I think you're going to, benefit an awful lot. And I'm here aiming to give you a bit more of an overview of some of those strategies. And in fact, later on, I have Barry, my very good friend and a great colleague who's had so much experience in marketing products. But the beauty is that he's still really learning the ropes online about marketing strategies. So he comes on and asks me a few questions. If you've seen him before, he'll ask me a few questions which challenge me, and I will try and do my best to make sense of them, well, not of him, but of my answers, so that you learn something from that. So one of the things I wanted to go on to today was all about niches. And I think depending on where you are, sometimes they're called niches, but they're the idea of effectively narrowing down and focusing your target audience and connecting with people over basically the subjects that you want to talk about. So, we take a very broad niche, which might be sport. But then when you narrow it down to perhaps one type of game, so you're talking about football, and then you could even narrow it down further to, different areas of football, for instance, management of a football team. That would be a very niche area. And you could be, you may already have knowledge and skills in that area, and you can connect with people who either are managers, are aspiring to be managers, who just are interested in that particular area. So one of the ways that we look at any potential subject that you might want to get a big following on online is to work out what niche is really especially popular. And the way we do that is via various methods. But one of the ways I've mentioned before is about looking at how much traffic there is that comes together looking for those particular areas using keywords. So there's various tools, and I've been already mentioned a few of those in past episodes, such tools as Keyword Planner. There's a particular one that I use, which is called SE Cockpit. There's a number of different products out there, and I'll probably do a review on how one of those works. I'll specifically do one on the product that I use, because I think it's one of the most interactive and efficient ways of looking for keywords. So when you're working on these niches, you want to be able to work out as well what people are interested in those particular niches, and that way you can build up, if you like, a series of subjects that you might want to relate to them on. you might want to build products around and content around. So if it was going back to the sporting management area, maybe it's about the type of accreditation that you could get as a manager. And therefore you could build out, first of all, a blog. That would be one option. You might build out a website with, really good information. You might put together a mini podcast. So you talk to someone, even interview someone, which would be quite a big step, but that would be a fabulous way of you learning, and they get an opportunity to talk about the area that they're very skillful in, and you're putting over good content for people to follow. Could be that you do a video, and you don't even have to appear on screen in that situation. You could just build out a video with images and a voiceover and hand over some great content. So yeah, niches are a way of really drilling down and finding an area that is particularly popular. One way to find out whether there is a following in that area is to see what kind of books are around, to look on Amazon and to see, looking through a book, what kind of subject areas they cover. And that's going to tell you a lot more about a particular niche. Someone's gone to the trouble of writing an excellent book and researching the information for that book, and they've come up with some great content for that book. So obviously the more popular the book is, the more that you know that is a strong niche. And so definitely you should look into that and give it some thought, maybe build out ideas. I'll probably come back to that at a later point and do a little bit more on niches. But if we want to, right at the moment, I'd like to bring Barry on, see if he's got any specific questions. So I'm going to unmute Barry and bring you up on screen. So I would imagine you should arrive any second, and there you are. Hi, Barry. How are you doing today?
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Well done.
Of course, it may not be morning where our viewers are, so we'll say good afternoon and good evening.
Well, good day to everyone then.
Good day to everyone, yeah.
What I'd like to ask you, I've enjoyed these last 3 mornings with you, and I've been, getting reasonably successful at downloading images onto my website now. But where I'm struggling is the e-commerce side. And I wondered if you could give me some help on that.
Okay. So you're thinking about building out an e-commerce site. Is that where you're up to at the moment? And you're wondering, how you're going to start that, what the elements are, and all of the various aspects. Yeah, well, that's a good question. What I would say is it breaks down into a few components. And these components are obviously the website itself, where you're going to put some of the main content, how you're going to, I think we've spoken about before, how you're going to resource the content that's going to go on that site, what you're going to sell. So we've spoken about that, but I'm talking about the actual structure really of an e-commerce site. So you've got the actual website itself, and then you've got an e-commerce store, which effectively, if you think about it, when you go onto a website, you go on and you're able to look at the photographs of the product, and you're able to look at the pricing, you're able to look at the description, and you're able to even sometimes look at the stock levels. There's various aspects of a store, the actual store aspect, which allows people to search around and be able to make contact with that content that they might, with those products that they might want to buy. And that's the essence of an Amazon site. And then there's the third part, which is actually the payment system. So you're going to decide you're going to buy something, one product of one particular type, and you're going to link then into the payment system, which of course has to be extremely secure, and people have to be confident in that payment system. It also has to be very slick, so that when people decide to pay, they don't get confused, they don't sort of get nervous about using the system, and they want to just make that purchase and be able to use their normal payment system, whether it is a credit card or, you know, whatever way they want to pay. Maybe they're even using something like Apple Pay or some other related system that they generally use online. So those three elements need to come together. And in fact, I've been working on this so that I could offer a particular product for people who might be just starting out and wanting to have a very basic store, and then they want to build out that store to a sort of second and third level. But initially they want to put the toe in the water and see how well their product ideas and so on come out. Now, there are systems which are very sophisticated, have been built out and work very well. There is one called Shopify. The issue with that is that there's quite a bit of a learning curve, actually having to, you know, put your products into the store. There's quite a big learning curve in sort of actually working out how the whole thing will come together. There's a lot of training online to help you out with that. And I'm not saying it's not an excellent way to build out a store, but I think there could be simpler and more direct ways. So you get a little bit of help to get your original store up online, to be able to start, as they say, populating the actual store element. That's what the second part of it I spoke about. Populate that with your photographs and with your description of your product and with your pricing, and then how to link it together into a simple payment system. So I brought together three parts. I brought together the actual website part, and I've designed it on the basis of mobile is the most common way for people to visit a site now. Most of the time they will visit via mobile. They want a quick, responsive site, as they call it, and be able to scroll through and have a look at those products and decide what they like very easily and quickly. Then they want to be able to click through to the second part of it, which is a store, where they're looking at the actual products and they're looking at the pricing, they're looking at description, deciding whether they're going to have 1 unit or 50 units or whatever it may be. And then it goes on to the third part. So I've stitched together the third part, which can, in my case, I'm using PayPal. And PayPal's excellent because it allows you to be able to pay by different handy methods that people are used to paying by. So they might pay with their credit card, or they may have a PayPal account and they can pay from a certain amount of balance that they've already got in their PayPal account. And I pulled this together into a thing called MobiStoreStack. That's my product. I've called it MobiStoreStack, and I'm going to offer that on my Activate a Lifestyle website. So I'm going to actually just pull up, first of all, the activatealifestyle.com is the website. And although I haven't quite launched it yet, it's going to be there within a couple of days so that people could have a look there and see whether they're interested in the MobiStoreStack, which will make it very easy. I'm just going to repeat this again. It's going to make it very easy for them to take up a level of the offering. I'm going to see if I can bring it up. Yeah, I see other people. How about now?
I've got build your first online business with fast MobiStoreStack.
Brilliant. So that's what I wanted to show you. This is the idea here is that this is the basic website, and it's showing you that it's on a mobile, how it looks on a tablet and how it looks on the main website. And when you go into the store, you'll be able to look around the products. This is just an example site. And I've called it the MobiStoreStack that you can see there. And then there are elements about how you can start selling quickly and without any pain. And then you can see here, these prices may change. I'm probably going to change it to pounds rather than dollars. But you can see that there's going to be different levels of support for the product. And then there's actually frequently asked questions. So when I launch it, it will be called MobiStoreStack, and that will hopefully be of interest to people, so that they can get online and try a very quick version of an e-commerce store, see whether their product is something that's going to sell, and then I can help advise on how they will go about marketing that site, which is another stage, of course. You can't just, I'm just going to take that off now and come back to you and me, Barry. So yeah, it's another stage where you need to think you've got a store, you've got it online, and it's just like having a store on the high street. You need to get people to come to your store to be able to sell them things, really. So does that sort of cover a little bit more understanding for you?
Yeah, we can possibly, would it be Andy, possibly later on in time for me to contact you personally and sort of spend half an hour with you?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I'm going to be available on direct messaging, and I'm also going to be available for any comments that come back via YouTube or via the website. Obviously, I'd like people to go to the main website, activatorlifestyle.com, and if they enter their email in there, they can also enter a comment. But if they enter their email in there, they're going to be able to get ongoing bits of content from me, which I'll be sending out, plus some goodies and stuff over a period of time. So I'd look forward to that. And clearly with yourself, Barry, yeah, you can come back to me at any point.
Thank you.
I'm just going to recap, actually, a couple of the earlier questions that we went through previously, because I thought there were some excellent questions. And, well, I've mentioned them before, but, you went through keywords, what keywords were about, and you talked about blogs. So I just want to remind people that blogs are an excellent way to get started online. And, so you could go back and visit one of the earlier programs, and I explain quite a lot about that. So I'm going to take you off now, Barry,
Okay.
and I'm just going to talk about another area before the end of the program. But thanks very much for your question there today.
It's a pleasure.
Okay.
Nice to see you. Take care.
Thank you. Speak to you shortly. So one of the areas that I've even mentioned today is getting traffic, and how you go about getting traffic, and actually getting content ideas for your website. And one of the ways that we have to go about getting content is we very often go to YouTube and look for content on YouTube that's related to our niche, which we were talking about before. And to actually find those particular bits of content on YouTube can be, it's got an excellent search engine, but you can get distracted. You can go off onto all sorts of tangents looking at content, which is very exciting. But if you want to be more focused on the way that you find content on YouTube, there's some excellent software that allows you to do just that. And I've been using a piece of software called TubeAim. And I'd just like to show you a short sequence here on what it looks like inside TubeAim and how it helps you. So I'm just going to play that now. So this is inside of TubeAim, which, as I say, is a fabulous bit of software. But there are various types of software like this that will do a similar job. So what you do is, we were talking about football managers before. You could just put it in here. So go football managers, and this is your whole keyword idea. You can decide how many searches you want. You can take this up to 100 or something, and you can decide sort of what area that you want to focus on. But for the moment, I'm just going to pick up the very, very simplest approach and let it run. And look, straight away, we've got actual pieces of video related to football managers. So, and these are some of the most popular strands of YouTube video that you're going to find. So here you got 82,000 views. It tells you number of likes. It tells you when it was broadcast. So in that case, it was in June 2019. You can switch this around. So the most important thing might be which is the oldest or which is the most latest. So 10 funny moments with football managers. So you can see it's perfect. You can actually go straight in there and be able to look at.
So stop.
So yeah, this is going straight
into
the video.
Goodbye WordPress and hello Duda today.
But I'm going to skip the ad, and then it takes you straight into the clip. So this is 10 funny moments with football managers, which I'm sure is good to watch. That's actually 2 million views on that particular clip. So I'll just pause that again and we'll go back to the software. So briefly, back in TubeAim, you've got the opportunity to save all these and add them to a list and then get those links so that you can use them if you're going to use them in your research or if you're going to use clips, because some of these are public rights to be able to share those links, which you might be doing in a blog or something if you're talking about say football managers.
TubeAim is a system that I use, as you can see, for aggregating content, which is really useful when you're looking at a specific niche like we were talking about before. You can really drill down and you'll be able to find information really quickly with tools like that. There's a number of tools which are available. That's not the only one. But I'd like to tell you more and perhaps show you more of these sort of tools. In fact, there's tools like that which are for various areas, such as Twitter. And when you're wanting to focus down and be able to concentrate on a specific type of market and particular type of niche. So this is the Live and Kicking show, and we're aiming to, well, we will be bringing it to you every Tuesday and Thursday, and it goes out about 9 o'clock on a Tuesday and a Thursday in the UK, but that's usually in the afternoon, depending on your time zone in the USA. So please tune in. Don't forget, I'd love to get your questions as well. Anything that you're particularly wanting to know about, I can drill down and explain a little bit more closely to you. And I will bring examples of different bits of software and different techniques as well as we go. So wherever you are, have a great rest of day. And don't forget that I look forward to seeing you on the next show, on the next Live and Kicking series. And as I say, kick ass, take action, use strategy, and you're going to find success. Okay, thanks very much. Bye-bye.